dive into the dynamic world of Takaful, unveiling industry insights and strategic moves. In the next 30 minutes, we unravel the industry's outlook and strategic facets. I'm Muhammad Mahamdan and this is Money Matters. Welcome to your favorite channel TV3, where you can also stream on Tonton. Now, we are honored to have Takaful Malaysia's Group Chief Executive Officer, Nur Azman Zainal. Thank you for taking the time to be with us here on Money Matters.
Thank you, Muhammad, for having me once again here on Money Matters.
Great. Now, what a journey for Takaful Malaysia as the first Islamic insurance company in the country.
Yep. 40 years old this year. We are celebrating our 40th anniversary.
Which is basically as old as the industry.
Yep. You're the
Takaful
first
industry in Malaysia.
Yep. And Alhamdulillah, and it's been quite a journey actually over the last 40 years, four decades of being the first Islamic insurance company in Malaysia. I think we have been setting the tone in the market for the last 4 decades now, becoming stronger and stronger by year. Alhamdulillah.
I'm sure busy year for you ahead for this year and the upcoming years. Now, let's talk business. In recent quarters, the company has experienced robust momentum in its revenue. Do you anticipate this trend persisting throughout the current year?
Well, Muhammad, we've been growing on quarter to quarter, right? And I think you can see our financial metrics. For the last, at least for the last 6-7 quarters, we've been growing, and then our top lines as well as our bottom lines. And we are optimistic this year. The trend will continue. And with the strengths that we have, especially on the banker Takaful deals.
Where is that optimism coming from?
I think if you look at our business model today, there are two main engines, if I can just call it. Yeah.
Okay.
The first is the banker Takaful, which is driving our family Takaful business.
Is that in the same category as bank assurance?
Yes,
okay.
yes. So it's just that we are playing on this in the Islamic space. It's a big market for us. And another one is a general Takaful. We've been growing on double digit over the last 2 years at least, and we are optimistic that we're gonna continue doing that for the next this year at least.
Well, that sounds amazing. Now, could you probably highlight specific strengths, such as key business areas that contributed to the company's success thus far?
Well, talking about banker Takaful business specifically, I think the strength lies in the credit-related products that we've been selling through all the banks. And then when you talk about general Takaful, our strength has always been on the non-motor side. So, the thing is, like, if you look at the industry today, for general Takaful especially, right, the ratio between motor Takaful or motor insurance and non-motor insurance, we are among the players which have a more balanced portfolio, which I think helping us in driving our profitability of the company, because our non-motor side compared to motor side is a bit balance on 50-50 side, And of course, when you talk about, I did mention about the banker Takaful just now, credit-related is the one driving our profitability so far. I can see that this trend will continue. Of course, we have other businesses, like the employee benefit, plus a small business in retail at the moment.
But your biggest revenue contributor is
from the banker Takaful on the family side, and general Takaful, non-motor side on the general Takaful. So these two are actually playing a big role in driving, fueling our growth.
And the prospects are looking bright.
Inshallah.
Okay, good. Let's talk about digital expansion now. Digitalization is changing the way of doing business, basically, not just for Takaful, but also basically any other businesses, I would say. Digitalization is you can't avoid digitalization. So I understand that your presence in the digital insurance and Takafu sphere, Takaful Malaysia has unveiled this digital app called Kaotim.
Yep.
And it is a new digital platform and brand which was launched on November 29th last year. Is this initiative a strategy by Takaful Malaysia to compete with Dito's? And if you can, tell us more about Kaotim, it'll be really great.
Dito, I mean, you just mentioned about Dito's, right? Dito's is digital insurance and Takaful operators, which we anticipate to come into place this year. But Kaotim, when we launched last year, it was not meant, if I can use the word, it's not meant to compete, actually. It's more into, just exactly what you said just now. Digitalization is something that we can't avoid. Takafu Malaysia being a 40-year-old player, we need to modernize, we need to move forward. So when we unveil Kaotim, we are saying, we are visualizing ourselves in the future. It's not just an app, actually. It's a platform. It's a way people interact with Takafu Malaysia. It's the way people buy insurance from Takafu Malaysia.
It's a whole campaign.
It's a whole, it's like a whole, we have to design the whole ecosystem of the insurance company, buying experience of a player, of our customers, actually. Right now, if you want to buy insurance, right, traditionally speaking, you are going to see agents, you're going to see, somebody will just serve you. The purpose of Kaotim is to bypass that, because if you look at Kaotim, the way we design things, we want to make sure that the journey or the experience, the customer experience, will be pleasant and short, because nowadays people want everything to be cheap, fast, convenient.
But how has feedback been so far for Kaotim?
So far, alhamdulillah. If you look at, I talked about journey just now, right? Because we launched our first product, which is a medical product. We know medical is in demand. Medical insurance or medical Takaful is in demand in Malaysia. And that's the purpose of Kaotim. When we set up Kaotim, we purposely chose medical as our first product because we know this is a product that people want. And we got to make sure that the journey, the customer's journey here, take maybe less than 10 minutes. So that's the whole purpose of Kaotim, giving a different customers experience altogether.
Now, considering that Kaotim is still relatively new in the market, with the introduction of Kaotim, do you think it is viewed as an extension of your business portfolio? Do you see a higher adoption rate of your products through Kaotim in the upcoming years?
Yeah, you're right. It is quite, the way you look at it, Kaotim, it can be seen as an extension of our portfolio.
Okay.
Yeah, but at the same, in a bigger picture, in a longer journey, I think Kaotim will be a platform. Kaotim will be the digital insurance space for us to play. And it will not just be a portfolio; it will go beyond portfolio.
Do you have any targets set for Kaotim?
Of course, but I don't
reveal
it here. Yeah, sure. But all I can say is Kaotim, when we started our Kaotim last year with the medical product, we should anticipate a lot more products coming on this platform, not just medical. It will go beyond medical, rest assured.
Okay, now I still want to talk about digital shift, especially in terms of anticipating customer behavior change. But before we do that, we're going to go for a quick commercial break. So don't go away because Money Matters will be back shortly. Welcome back. We're still speaking with Nur Azman Zainal, Group Chief Executive Officer of Takaful Malaysia. Now, Azman, in the ever-evolving landscape of the insurance and Takaful sector, digital insurance and Takaful has empowered the industry as we know it. Now, we're seeing a growing market demand and potential for digital insurance and Takaful products in Malaysia. Do you anticipate a significant change in how customers seek insurance and Takaful products in the upcoming years?
Surely, we're seeing a trend, people buying through digital platforms rather than, put it this way, if you look at the way people buy insurance in the past, you got to meet up with somebody to advise you.
The agent.
Agents, right? Advisors. We still need those in the market.
They're still relevant.
They are still relevant.
Okay.
But when it comes to digital, there's a trend, and nowadays we can't live without our smartphone, right? And it's about time that we start looking our next generation of customers. Our young kids, our people in 30s, maybe like you, who are more digital savvy, So people like us, nowadays we want to interact via digital. So you definitely see an uptick on this particular segment.
Right.
And if you don't catch it now, you're going to be left behind. So this is what I'm saying. This is what we are saying, actually. Not just Takaful Malaysia, I think the whole industry is seeing this as a trend going forward.
You don't want to miss the train, right?
Yep.
Right. So let's talk about the growth outlook in 2024, the factors and also challenges. The Malaysian insurance and Takaful sectors are expected to grow modestly this year. From your perspective, what factors will contribute to the industry's expansion, and are there any potential challenges on the horizon?
We do see headwinds coming when it comes to insurance and Takaful. I think post-pandemic, right, I did mention in my first program, we are seeing a trend whereby the claims experience is going up. We call it, in our industry, we call it normalization. Claims are normalizing again, because people are, during the pandemic years, 2020, 2021, people stay at home, people don't make claims, people don't move, Nowadays, you're basically, it's like you're assuming your daily life is just normal, coming back to normal, right? So it's the same thing when it comes to business. Your claims experience is coming back to normal. Okay, so I mean, as a player, we need to measure, we need to manage this, and we know this is coming, and this can be a potential headwinds. Claims experience going up, but don't forget the fact that we live in a high inflation.
Exactly.
These days, and everything's expensive. Sometimes, people cannot afford to buy insurance, or people drop, or people lapse their policies. So these are the challenges that we're going to face going forward.
For Takaful players, how do you cope with the increasing amount of in claims?
This is where we the thing is, like, we may have to relook at the way we price our products. We need to make sure that the risk that we take are being measured or being priced in correctly. So that's one. But secondly is we need to look at the behavior of our customers as well. We need to anticipate what kind of challenges we're going to be facing. And I did mention just now about claims going up, inflation, all that, and then potential high lapsation, right? But having said that, there's a flip side to it. Because if you look at it, protection, insurance protection is still needed. Be it motor, be it medical, life, because it is an essential things in life, actually. But what you need, what customers need today is cheap or affordable, and easy access. So this is where I think market need to have a better look at it. Opportunities are there. That's the reason why I said we are quite optimistic that we are going to grow. I think the industry will grow. It's just that how can we accelerate the access, the penetration in the market.
What's the penetration rate in Malaysia?
For Takaful, it's about 20%.
20%. What about conventional insurance?
It's more than 50%. If I'm not mistaken.
So that's not even half.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it's about more than 50%. So I think, but we have a lot of rooms to grow when it comes to Takaful, 20%. You look at the Muslim population, though Takaful is not meant for the Muslims alone, right? But looking at 20%, definitely you have a lot of rooms to grow.
To grow, yeah.
Yeah, and then motor Takaful, everyone needs it. Everyone drives cars or motorbikes, So, and then fire insurance or fire Takaful. So, if you ask me, yes, definitely there are rooms to grow, and we are optimistic that the industry will continue to grow.
Where does Malaysia stand as compared to other Islamic countries?
When it comes to Takaful, we are far ahead, actually.
We are?
We are the leader.
Okay.
We are the leader in the Takaful industry. We should be proud. I mean, right at the beginning of the program, you congratulate me, 40 years old,
Yeah.
It's as old as the industry. And in fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Takaful Malaysia was first set up in 1984. It is among the first commercial Takaful companies in the world. And people are looking at us.
Well, this is quite an achievement, I would say, considering that Malaysia's healthcare is, subsidized by the government. We have public clinics and all that, and having insurance for an average Malaysian has never been part of the culture. And still, we are the leader in the market as compared to other Islamic countries. So that's quite a feat.
I think Takaful insurance is not just about medical insurance; it's beyond that.
Okay, that's fair.
You're having a life cover as well. You've got your properties to protect. Your cars, your everything. So it's about how you diversify your products.
Right.
So I mean, Malaysia we've been blessed actually, and I got to say thank you to our leaders in the 80s when they set up Takaful Malaysia or Bank Islam for that purpose in 1983, and then Takaful Malaysia followed in 1984. Since then we have been leading the market all the way. Alhamdulillah.
Okay, now we wanted to talk more about how do you plan to stay competitive, and also probably share with us some of the strategies that you have for Takaful Malaysia moving forward. But before we do that, we're going to go for another quick commercial break. So don't go away, because we will be back shortly. Welcome back. We're still speaking with Nur Azman Zainal, Group Chief Executive Officer of Takaful Malaysia. Now, Nur Azman, for Takaful Malaysia, how does the company plan to address challenges in the insurance and industry space? You know, are there any specific strategies or area of focus that you have implemented and will continue to reinforce to stay relevant and competitive in the industry?
Well, I think our next phase of growth will be very much focused on growing our business in the retail space. But before I go there, let's talk about our current strategy, which is going to continue to be relevant. Which is the first is a banker Takaful. We're going to be strengthening it further. You know, we're going to be coming up with a lot more advisory products because we need to penetrate the retail market via banks. Second is we are relying or we depending on the growth of our general Takaful business, which I think is giving us a good volume of business for the last few years. You know, and then we've been achieving our double-digit growth for this particular segment. So these two will continue to be our main engine going forward. But the third is something that we're looking at. I think you mentioned about Kaotim just now. Kaotim is just, you know, it's just a starting point for us, going into more digital, going into direct to customers, because we know we can offer a lot more cheaper, affordable product, direct access to customer. I think that will be something that we need to capitalize on going forward. And inshallah, we'll be investing a lot more on technology.
Okay, in a nutshell, what is the anticipated outlook for the Malaysian Takaful industry in general in 2024? And from your viewpoint, do you expect it to improve or decline compared to 2023? Now, I know you've said before that you're optimistic that the industry will continue to grow, but what are some of the prospects that we're looking at here?
I still feel that this industry will grow in 2024 because the needs for protection is there. The protection gap, sometimes we use the word protection gaps, right? Is there. The market still needs life protection. The market still needs affordable medical protection. And definitely when it comes to general Takaful, fire Takaful, or motor definitely is there. So generally speaking, the market will grow, and I'm very optimistic about it. It's just that, if I can just repeat my point, how do we gain access to make sure that customers who buy insurance product or Takaful products today can sustain? The word sustainability is a big word actually these days. You know, so you got to make sure that your customers will be able to sustain whatever they buy. You know, you don't buy today and then next year you lapse the policy.
Remain loyal.
Remain loyal.
Okay.
You know, and then because you're protecting your life, you're protecting your properties for the next many years ahead. You know, so the word is sustainability.
What's your market share in Malaysia?
Well, when it comes to single contribution, we have more than 20% market share.
More than 20%?
More than 20% market share.
Do you have any target for moving forward?
General Takaful, if you can just bit more on general Takaful, our market share is more than 40%.
That's a lot. Okay.
That's a lot. And I think general Takaful and family Takaful, these are the space that we are playing today. And we do intend to grow market share.
Okay.
Yep.
And how do you plan to do that? Is there any plans at all to expand abroad, perhaps?
Product offerings, you know, and channels. So we're expanding our channels. Kaotim is just one of the channels.
Sure.
Products, definitely. We're going to come up with a more affordable, innovative products going forward. And we're going to leverage on all the bank partners that we have, inshallah.
How many bank partners do you have so far?
More than 10.
Okay.
Yep.
So the plan is also to increase more partners in the future, I believe.
Inshallah.
Okay. But do you have any plans to penetrate markets abroad? Maybe in neighboring countries?
We have a subsidiary in Indonesia, but for now our focus is very much in Malaysia.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, Nur Azman Zainal, thank you so much once again for joining us on this episode of Money Matters. We really appreciate your insights on this program. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Now, For the past half an hour, you've been with us here on Money Matters. If you missed the earlier part of this episode, you can also catch it up on Tonton. Now, be sure to join us next week, same time, right here on TV3. I'm Muhammad Hamdan. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.